What is going on, everyone? Hope all of you are doing well. So, today I'm going to be reviewing Trading Places. This was one of my favorite movies of all time. Such a great film from the early 80s. Stars Eddie Murphy, you have Dan Aykroyd, you've got Jamie Lee Curtis, and a few other recognizable faces, as well as a nice, cool cameo from somebody who became, who way before he became a big name in the acting world, excuse me. So the film follows these two Duke brothers. They're these older gentlemen. They have their own business. They're wealthy. And then you have Dan Aykroyd, who plays Lewis, who works for the Dukes, and he has this interaction with Eddie Murphy, who plays Billy Ray, and Lewis accuses Billy Ray from stealing when he wasn't. They bumped into each other. Uh, Lewis fell, and Billy Ray wanted to give him his briefcase back, and Lewis accuses him. So he ends up going to jail, and it's the Duke brothers that decide to basically, have a bet with each other. They bet on $1 that they can make Lewis poor and then make Billy Ray rich. And then once, uh, the bet's over, excuse me, they'll switch them back. Excuse me. So, of course, this is pretty much ruining Lewis's life, and Billy Ray's enjoying it for a brief moment. It's not until, Billy Ray, while smoking a joint in the bathroom stall, he overhears the Dukes, basically talking about the bet, and once everything's done, they're both going to go back to, both Lewis and Billy Ray will go back to the normal lives that they had. So Billy Ray does everything he can to find Lewis and let him know what's going on. So they basically, those two, and Ophelia, played by Jamie Lee Curtis, who was hired to kind of play, with Dan Aykroyd. She was paid good money to kind of be involved in this in some way. Of course, becomes like the love interest for him. And they all team up to basically rob the Dukes of money that they're going to try to gain off of this, like, was it concentrated frozen orange juice. So yeah, that's pretty much the plot of the film. um, Now, I will state this: there are things in this film that could not be made to this day, especially like the train scene, certain things that are said. Like, this movie, if it was remade, yeah, it would not slide. But I think the cast is fantastic. It's, the chemistry between everybody's fantastic. Seeing Eddie Murphy and Dan Aykroyd, they were both SNL cast members, I think, together at one point. Them in this film is fantastic, especially when they start to team up, and take on these to take on the Dukes. And I wish we would have seen more. Eddie Murphy's great. I think a lot of the stuff he does is a little over the top, but in a really great way, and not as over the top you would expect. It's Eddie Murphy being Eddie Murphy, basically, and it works. Um, the rewatching this, and of course, I think this film came out in 1983. Just the atmosphere, the way New York looks, it's just gritty, cold, cloudy, and I like it. It's always neat to watch older films, come out way before you were born. It's like going, time traveling and seeing how much has changed, and I've always liked that. Of course, it takes place during Christmas time, so in a way, you can consider it a Christmas movie, which is, really awesome. And yeah, I wish I could say more. It is directed by, what is his name? I always keep forgetting, John Landis. Um, you know, you can have different, opinions on John Landis, but I think he did really good with this. And I like, the actors, and I like the little cameos that we get of people. And yeah, I wish I could say more. It's kind of one of those movies I feel like everybody should just have an opportunity to check out. And it's not one I hear people talk about very often. When you think of Dan Aykroyd and you think of Eddie Murphy, Ghostbusters, Coming to America, The Golden Child, I mean, the list just goes on, but you never hear anything about Trading Places, which is unfortunate. And of course, this is kind of, excuse me, it's kind of set in the same universe as Coming to America, and if you know, you know. Um, but yeah, I wish I could say more. Like I said, now the quality on this 4K I thought was really good. Not a whole lot of grain, nothing that stands out. They cleaned this up really, really good. And the only minor complaint is the menu screen. I do not know who did the menu screen, but that is grainy. It's like they enlarged a big image, I think, of this, and it looks awful. But other than that, I think the picture quality on this is outstanding. There are certain scenes that really stand out, like the city and just the grittiness, it being wet from the snow and rain, and you could tell it's cold. From I think there's a couple scenes where some of the characters are wearing sweaters, and just the detail you can see looks really, really good. So I would say if you don't have this in your collection, I would highly recommend you do so, because I think the quality uh, was better than I was expecting. And mind you, not all of films that came out in the 80s that get brought onto the 4K format are going to look amazing. There are occasions where some films don't look as good, but this was definitely better than my expectations. And I feel like it's definitely worth an upgrade. But before you do, definitely check on YouTube some comparison videos to make your final decision. But I thought it was great. And the sound quality I thought was great as well. I've noticed some Blu-rays and some 4Ks I've watched, they do tend to have some audio issues. I don't know if that's just how it is, or they're, I wouldn't say destined, but they're, you probably got to have like some type of surround sound set. That's what they were intended for. I could be wrong on that, but the sound quality on this, I thought was really, really good. And mind you, depending on what type of home theater setup you have and what type of TV, your experience is going to be completely different from mine. Of course, the picture quality is going to look good, but I feel like depending on your TV and your setup, I feel like you're going to get a better experience. And I'm just kind of going by what I experience and going by my opinion. So you can take that with a grain of salt, but I do feel like it is worth the upgrade, in my opinion. And I have yet to check the features out, which I will eventually do. But nonetheless, I thought the quality on this was great and definitely worth having in the collection, in my opinion. So I want to thank you guys for tuning in to my review for Trading Places and my thoughts as well. If you've seen the movie, I would love to hear your guys' opinion. Let me know what you thought. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, go ahead and do so. It's much appreciated. And if you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up. That helps out too. You can also share my video. For those who may have not seen this movie, I will put the link or I'll put the link to the trailer down in the description below, as well as the IMDb page. So if you're curious on who else is in this movie, who worked on it, or if you've never seen it and you want to check out the trailer, those will be down in the description. But before I go, I don't know if anybody else has been having issues with their subscriber count. A couple days ago, I had, I think 1780, which is not bad. I was close to hitting 1,800 subs, but now I have like 662. I'm sure as we speak, it's going to go down even less. I don't know if there's a glitch going on. I had to do some research. Apparently, there's like spam profiles that will subscribe to channels, so it seems like that's what's been going on with me. Um, it feels like people don't have anything better to do, but it sucks because it's like you've worked so hard to get where you're at, and then it's just taken away from you. But it's not going to stop me. I'm hoping to push towards close to 10,000 subs next year, so I'm definitely going to be pushing it for sure when it comes to the content for the channel. So you guys liking my videos, sharing, subscribing, it helps me out. Increasing the watch hours, it's definitely, plays a big part in growing the channel. So, yeah, I just wanted to point that issue out to just see, if anybody else is dealing with it, because it had the same issue where subscribers were going down, then all of a sudden they were going up, and then now they're going down again. I had to see if I had to update the YouTube Studio app. No update, so I don't know what's going on, but it sucks. But I'm not going to let it stop me. We'll see what happens. But with that being said, I'm Phone Talk with Mikey. Till next time, guys, we'll talk films. You guys have a good one. Take care, and I will see you next time.